Well, how do you do, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah Veda. If you don't already know, and if you do know, then groovy. Thanks for coming back. Appreciate you. Just a disclaimer, I do drink, smoke, and cuss on this channel. I'm 100% myself and always am. So, now that that's out of the way, I wanted to talk today about... Well, I've already talked today once. I'm just making another video because I feel like. But yeah, I wanted to talk today about, you know, I was thinking about this Wives with Beehives. Does anyone remember that? That was on TLC. I never got to watch it. You can't find any, which I think there was only one episode, but the blog that, excuse me, probably should have paused that. Oops. But yeah, like, Dolly had posted about it. She doesn't do YouTube anymore. In fact, she's not even really into pinup that much anymore. This Shelby girl was in it. She doesn't do YouTube anymore either. But yeah, they were in it, and I don't know, I remember reading her blog post about it, and apparently it was a very unpleasant experience, and the people that directed it, or produced it, were kind of psycho. Yeah, so anyways, there's that, but it got me to thinking, because, like, they're, like, super anti-modern, like, society and relationships and stuff, so... Yeah, it got me thinking, because I just made a video talking about Wives with Beehives, but then I was like, there's no real point to that, because it obviously doesn't exist anymore. You can't find any videos about it, and if you remember it, you do, and if you don't, you don't. I just know that I really wanted to watch it. It came out in 2012, and I didn't get to watch it, so if you have seen it, please comment down below, because I would really, really just love to know. Damn, I'm Dr. Seuss! But yeah, that got me thinking, like, you know, a lot of other YouTubers that are in the vintage, rockabilly, pinup, whatever you want to politically correctly call the subculture, have made a lot of videos and a lot of stuff about, you know, vintage style, not vintage values. So yeah, and I kind of wanted to give my 2 cents on that, because I literally dress like a pinup girl every single day. Pinups for Pitbull shirts, tank top, and some cherry shorts. But yeah, so yeah, I may not look very 250s, but still look like a pinup girl today. Which technically I am. But no, I really did want to talk about that, because I can relate to that. I mean, I'm in a relationship where I'm the housewife. I do the cooking, I do the cleaning, you know, which I enjoy doing that kind of stuff, you know. I have social anxiety, so, which has gotten better, but you know, my man's the breadwinner. I take care of him, he takes care of me, so, yeah. But I just wanted to talk about that, because I couldn't imagine, like, yeah, as much as I love the 1950s, I love the music, I love the style, I love, you know, the movies, I love the actors and actresses, I loved how people used to dress back then, I loved, you know, all the fancy stuff they had, and all the, you know, just kind of getting along, and where you didn't have to worry about locking your door, and people coming in and stealing shit, or trying to kill you, or something like that, you know what I'm saying? And, that part of the 50s, I love. The good parts of the 50s. And, you know, I think that's the thing for a lot of us that are, you know, into the lifestyle is, and a lot of people that are just like regular people don't understand, is like, oh, well, that's just this and blah, blah, blah. And they had segregation and they had the, yeah, we know. You can still like a style and fucking, and music from a certain era, and like, you know, you can still, just blows my fucking mind that people don't understand that. It's like people that say are obsessed with the 70s or something. I don't know, obsessed with the 60s. I don't know, obsessed with the 20s. Do you think we all want to go through Prohibition again? Because I sure don't. But you get what I'm saying. And, because I've seen a lot of just like some of these, not the bigger, like, vintage creators, but, like, the smaller ones like me, like, I've seen some weird comments about just random people like, oh, well, you were into this, and you dress like this, so la la la, that means that you think that this, and you think that, and la la la, and it's like, Really? Really? No, not at all. Well, reasons I would not want to live back then. I couldn't be with my boyfriend. I couldn't be best friends with my best friend. I couldn't have went and saw all the Michael Jackson shit I went to go to in Las Vegas. I would not be able to walk down the street with a bunch of tattoos and colored hair and piercings. Well, I only have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 piercings. I can count today. But like, and just the fact, just imagining a world where you would be so strict as to only listen to like fucking Chubby Checker and like, you know, just Elvis and just strictly only listen to that. No, I can't do that. I love that music, but I also really like the 80s. I'm really into Guns N' Roses, and Def Leppard. You know, I can't imagine a world without listening to them and Def Leppard. I already said that, didn't I? Britney Spears even. Rob Zombie. Whoa now. No, absolutely not. I don't even want to think of that world. I don't know. Backstreet Boys, no. Wow, that would really suck. No Led Zeppelin. No, I'm sorry. Like, you know, as much as I love the 50s, and I do my hair, like, every fucking day, dude, as you can see, is very cute. I just want to do pigtails. But, you know, I just couldn't imagine it. And I think that's really ridiculous for someone to actually, because let me tell you something. When I was a teenager, because I first started getting into, like, you know, rockabilly stuff, because I was, like, super goth. I still like black. I still am, you know, I don't really consider myself anything now. I think the older you get, you know, I mean, obviously I put myself in the rockabilly stereotype, but it's a subculture. It's not a stereotype to me. I'm just more into that than I am goth now, you know? Like, I think I kind of burnt myself out on the music, to be honest. But, which I still listen to some of it, but I don't know. I'm more, the older I get, the less I really care about any of that. Like, how I look and what I'm supposed to listen to. No, that's bullshit. Don't let anybody tell you how you should be dressing and what you should be listening to when you're dressed like that. Just saying. Don't let nobody tell you that. Because that's bullshit. The world, we are in 2022 now. Like, we've lived through, you know, well, at least I have lived through, you know, most of the 90s and, like, all the 2000s now. And I grew up like I was in the 80s because my parents were really young, you know. I was born in 93, so, you know, and having parents that were also really young when they had me, you know, I got a lot of the 80s, so there's that. But, you know, I did used to be one of those people when, which I've talked about this before, but, I used to, what is wrong with my computer today? Hold on a second. I don't know what's going on. It's been doing this all day, so sorry if it kind of looks like I'm a robot for a second, because I don't know, something's going on with my computer. I don't know what. Anyway, but yeah. So, I mean, I did used to be one of those people when I was, like, super hardcore into goth, like Trip Pants, The Cure, Susie and the Banshees all day. Yeah, I acted probably like one of those anal-ass elder goths, like, you only can listen to this and blah, 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 and I would only listen to other shit, like, secretly. Like, I've always loved Britney Spears and Backstreet Boys. I'm not afraid to tell you now, but when I was, like, 14, yeah, I was afraid to tell you unless you were, like, my best friend. Like, nobody knew that. I always was like, no, la, la, la. And then, when I was very first getting into the 50s, because I still dress more like gothabilly. I love mixing goth and rockabilly. It's my favorite. But as I get older, I actually like a lot of colors. I don't know. I do. Not that, I mean, you can like whatever the fuck you like, you know. That's what the point of this is, you know. And, you know, when I was very first getting in the 50s, like, I would literally, like, eat, breathe, and sleep nothing but, like, old movies and old music and Stray Cats, which I still love Stray Cats and stuff, obviously. But, I mean, you know what I mean. Like, when I was very first getting into it, that was all it was, 24/7. And then, you know, I hit about... how old was I the first time I went to Vegas? I don't know. I hit about 22, I guess. And I was like, you know what? And just the older I've gotten since then, I'm like, I don't care. People ask me, like, what are your top 5 favorite bands? I'm like, well, I love Chuck Berry. I love Rob Zombie. I love Def Leppard. I love Backstreet Boys. And I love Fats Domino. So, I mean, I don't know. And I love Stray Cats. And I love fucking Coffin Cats. I love, you know, it's just, it's so funny to me how people can be so, like, what are they called? Gatekeepers? They're called gatekeepers. That's the word I'm looking for. They're gatekeepers. Where they're like, oh, well, this was first, and, you know, if you don't like all of this and that's it, then you're not this and you're not that. Bitch, then fine, I don't want to be part of your fucking shit anyway if that's how you're going to treat people. Like, let me tell you something. There's a bar out here that is like, not the one that I usually go to, not the tiki bar that I've talked about. That's like a metal tiki bar, not that. This is a different one. And don't talk about it a lot because I don't really... The bar looks fucking awesome. It's 27 Club. It's called 27 Club. And it's, like, it looks amazing. A lot of the people that, you know, go in there are also alternative. Like, it's basically an alternative bar, basically. You know? And, but, like, there's, at this one, though, there's more, like, super punk people, like punks, you know, not, hey, punk, not like that, but, you know, punk, mohawks, chains, you know, the OGs, that's who. And, you know, like, uber goths and fucking, like, people, there's a girl with a death hawk. I love death hawks, always wanted one, but no. I like my hair too much to do that. I do too many 50 styles to do that. But dude, like, it's literally like everyone is like to the fucking nines, like super alternative there. And I mean, the first time I went in there, you know, I mean, y'all alternative actually, because I'm from the South. So, I mean, I'm alternative too. But when I went in here, I felt like I was in high school again, or middle school, and, like, when I acted like that, and I was like, I've never felt so uncomfortable with that amount of people who were also dressed in, like, all black like me, but just because I was dressed more like, you know, rockabilly, I was the oddball out, still. So I felt like, wow, I can't fit in with any fucking subculture, can I? And then after that, I was like, this was like 3 years ago. And I'm just like, wow. And I haven't went back, because I'm like, y'all are fucking assholes. Like, these people were gatekeeping and fucking, oh my god. And the way they treated my best friend when we went, because she's not alternative. She likes stuff like that, but she doesn't dress like that. You know what I'm saying? She doesn't dress vintage or anything. She just, you know, she's her. The most vintage she gets is like the 90s if she wants to dress vintage. But yeah, and she's just not into that at all. And the way that they treated her, like, just everybody's staring at her and like, I feel like, and I'm like, because that was the second time we went. And the first time I was kind of like, no, that was the third time we went. Excuse me. That was the third time, because I've been twice before she came with us. Yeah, and then just the way they treated her, too, I was like, no, I don't think so. And then I haven't been back since. I have not been back since. So, yeah. Yeah, don't let somebody tell you. I just went from vintage style and vintage values to the... But you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's still kind of connected, because there's just... I don't know. Honestly, I've never really experienced that in rockabilly land. I've never experienced that. I have had girls, like... I don't know. It's just never personally happened to me. But I have seen... That's what I should have said. I've seen where some girls are like, oh, well, that's not vintage, so, or, oh, well, you don't like pinup enough, or, oh, like, ask fucking, the vintage doll. She's on here. You can ask her about it. I mean, I don't know her personally. I've commented on some of her stuff. I like her. But yeah, that's, she kind of got out of that because when she very first got, I remember when she very first got into the pinup, like, she was, like, a big pinup, too. And me, I was modeling at the time. But, I was doing it, but I wasn't, like, published. Like, I've been in 4 magazines. 5? 4. I've been in 4 magazines. Okay, I was correct. And just, I don't know. But that's still my dream. I still want to be, like, a big, fancy pinup model. I still want to do that, which I still have a lot of hope because Betty Page was 32 when she started, okay? So, I mean, I'm kind of close to that, but not too close, but I'm still pretty close. There's some hope there. There is some hope. But I mean, but yeah, like she blew up really quick. Like she blew up really quick. Like I found her from somebody and then, I started following her and shit. And people bullied her so fucking bad because she was too skinny. I don't know, like, she'd post a picture of drinking coffee and like, oh, you don't look vintage enough, or like, it was just fucking ridiculous how they treated her. And she's got a video about it. Of course, it's kind of old now. Oh boy, there's a child on a scooter. Great. Anyways, the children are out. But, at least he ain't screaming, so... Anyways, but yeah, I mean, just the way they treated her, and, like, I've never been treated like that in, like, what I more associate with now, like, rockabilly land, rockabilly land, that's what I'm just going to call it from now on. So, I don't know, it just blows my mind, because, I don't know, I think there's just good and bad in everything, like I've said before, in, like, anything, subcultures, everything. There's just good and bad in everything. But yeah, it kind of blew my mind because I'd never really experienced that, being a part of the community, this community now. I've never really experienced that. But when I was more into goth, I experienced that really bad. Of course, I'm sure, well, I know that there's probably people that are still like that that are out there that are, gatekeepers. But, I mean, it just... But, I'm sure it's not really like that now, because like I said, I'm not super into goth anymore. I just like to mix the styles, and apparently that's not... Well, now that's cool to do, but when I was doing... I mean, I don't want to sound like, a hipsters, but no, like, when I first got into it, like, that was, no, pick one or the other, and I'm like, no, I like both. Fuck you. And now it's, like, so big. Like, everybody's kind of into that. Well, not everybody, but... A lot of people that I've seen are kind of into the whole spooky and vintage thing now, which is amazing. But now I'm getting more into, like, I don't know, I'm more into, like, sourpuss. That's literally my whole style, is monster print, monsters on colorful vintage dresses. That's my favorite. But yeah, dude, it's like, what the fuck? It just makes me so mad. And that's where the vintage... values thing, it reminded me of that, because it's like, just fucking gatekeepers, basically. That's what it is. Like, I'm sure that there's somebody out there that just is super anal about everything, and it's just like, dude, chill out. Just admit that you like fucking NSYNC and just get it over with. Like, oh my god, like, calm down. Nobody cares. We're old enough now. Like, yeah, when you're a teenager, you're gonna make fun of each other. That's just how it is when you're a teenager. But, like, we're old enough now, I don't care. You shouldn't either. And if somebody is trying to tell you, if you are also in your late 20s, or your 30s, or your 40s, and you have somebody trying to tell you, oh, well, you're not this because you don't listen to this, and you don't do this because you don't dress enough like this, you don't have enough vintage, you don't wear enough black, la la la. Tell them, you know what you need to tell them? Come closer. You know what you need to tell them? You need to tell them to kiss, not your ass, but not the left cheek, not the right cheek, but right in the middle. And go back to life. Because let me tell you something. If you're gonna sit there and like be a lie to yourself and only feel comfortable listening to like, I don't know, I like Black Bear. I love Black Bear. I mean, once again, I am not, shy about anything I listen to. Music is music, so there you go. But you know what? I tell you, if you feel so uncomfortable around your friends because you think that they're going to judge you because you listen to, Black Bear, but then you dress how you dress, then they're not your real friends. Real friends don't do that. Just saying. Quit trying to get... That's called a clique. That's not a subculture. That's a clique. There is a difference. So, yeah. But, dude. Anyways, this video is getting kind of long. So, I don't know. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. But, yeah. Thank y'all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And, yeah. Always be you. Always be you, boo. And don't forget to keep it rockin'.